What about Resident Evil TV series?
Oh my god, I'm gonna rant about that a little bit. I don't know if I'll get heated. I don't have the energy to get heated about something like that, but that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. 5 women and a black Wesker.
Dude.
Why is it all women?
Of all the characters to make black, why a Wesker? He's the bad guy too. It's like, yes, let's turn the, especially in today's age, let's turn the bad guy black. That's a smart idea.
Yeah, really. Make him absolutely loathsome too. What's with? Are they doing another Dungeons and Dragons movie?
I think it's a series. I'm not sure. It could be a movie, but yes.
It says movie. With Chris Pine, Hugh Grant, and Michelle Rodriguez.
Okay, so they decided to make a movie. I remember them talking a while back that they were floating in the air, either making a movie or a series. But I guess with the recent news, yeah, they decided it was going to be a movie.
Okay. I still haven't seen the last one. I don't know if that was the first one they ever made, but still
I think there was one in 2008, and there was one that was in like 2000 on the dot or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Both of them are awful.
What was the other?
I like the 2000 one though. That one's better. Not because it's a good movie, but it's got stupidly redeemable qualities like the Super Mario Brothers movie does.
So, speaking of movies, you're not gonna appreciate this. Probably, I don't think you're gonna appreciate this. But did you know that there was a spin-off to Goonies?
I've heard.
Did you ever see Goonies?
Yeah, I've seen Goonies. Who hasn't seen Goonies?
I don't know. You're young. I don't know if you've seen Goonies, but
no, my parents raised me.
You're younger than
like
me.
That, you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
there's a movie called The Willies.
The Willie. Yeah, I know the Willie.
Yeah, The Willies, which I'd never even heard of, but Mikey's in it. Sean Astin playing Mikey.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never even heard of this movie. Someone tweeted about it, and I was like, what the hell? It was a Goonies spinoff? And I took one look at it. It's like, I bet this is terrible. I've got to see it. It's going to be horrible. And the person concurred, yes, it's a bad movie. I was like,
what
yes!
I found was very weird, right? Growing up, my dad would always point out, like, actors that are in the same movie to me. Because especially as a kid, you don't pick up on that things as much, right? And I've seen Goonies, like, really, really young. And then when Lord of the Rings came out, it was like the one time he never bothered to point out that it was the same actor as somebody that I'd seen in another movie. Yeah.
And he was Rudy.
I know.
He was in Rudy.
He was in Rudy. And he was in
Chubby.
He's in Click. And in 50 First Dates.
And he was in season 2 of Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh, Encino
obviously
Man.
after.
That's actually my favorite movie with him is Encino Man. With Brendan Fraser.
I don't remember him in that.
He
I'm
was the
not
main
sure
character.
that I've only seen parts of.
Yeah, because you know how like Brendan Fraser was like
Sean
the
Astin?
Man? Yeah, Sean Astin was the one that found him in his backyard.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, that movie's great. I love Encino Man.
Well, Pauly
Shore's
in that too, right?
Yeah. It's a great movie. 92.
Pretty sure I've never seen it.
Oh man, we gotta watch
Maybe
that.
I've seen parts. It's one of those movies where I've seen like bits and pieces of it.
Like Cross Comics
Sean
over here
Astin
with
is in
Goonies.
that.
He's only seen parts of it.
Oh, we gotta see Goonies. We gotta watch Goonies.
Yeah, but I think
Biodome was better.
Man.
I've seen Biodome.
Biodome is not better
Weirdly
than
enough,
Encino Man, so that Kappa is well deserved.
Yeah. Well, weirdly enough, I have seen Biodome from beginning to end. I know I've seen that.
Ugh, you poor soul.
I don't know why. I I think it was on TV once. They used to just show movies on TV back when people watched TV.
Yeah. What was that
Um,
other really bad
but
Pauly Shore movie that like Andy Dick was in? It was like You're in the Army Now, I think is the name of it, or something like that. He goes to the military.
Pauly Shore
My dad
and
loves
Andy
it.
Dick.
Yes, they're both in that movie. My dad loves that movie for some reason. Like, this movie's trash.
You
Let's see if I
know,
can find the name.
we
Yeah,
never
it's
watched
In the Army
any
Now.
more of News Radio, did we?
No, we didn't.
Speaking of Andy Dick, we should watch more News Radio. That was actually a good show.
Yeah. The worst part is, much like Biodome,
Rick,
In the Army Now, Pauly Shore was the main character. So you're following him the entire time.
mm-hmm. Great.
He's great as a side character, though.
Oh,
Like,
God.
he should have just never have been a star of any movie. He should have been supporting actor in everything.
Whatever happened to the Cross Comics Good Movie Night, Bad Movie Night thing? We stopped doing that. I don't know. The Willies might not be the good kind of bad. I might have to just watch that on my own. It looks just stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be another Dungeons and Dragons movie. I guess.
Yeah.
Live action.
Speaking of 80s movies, especially the ones that are centered like towards a child audience, like The Goonies, right? Or is it a family audience, but it's catering to the kids. Any family movie really is. That and what's the Lost Boys? What is up with those movies not understanding how to actually do tension? And any time that a spot is supposed to be tense or dangerous, it's just like people screaming at the top of their lungs with odd camera angles, like ah, because that's like half the movie if you go back and rewatch them. I watched them as a double feature not too long ago,
Really?
and it's like half the
Lost
tense,
Boys?
yeah, half the tense scenes are just them screaming. Like one of the most tense moments in the whole movie is when they go into the den, right? And they're trying to rescue the two girls from there. And then the vampires wake up on them in the den. And he's like trying to grab him or whatever. But instead of having like a really nice camera angle and maybe showing like somebody's like pant leg tearing or something like that to actually make this scene look tense, it's like this out-zoomed shot of all of them screaming. Yeah, it's like, this doesn't add to the tension. What are you doing, filmmakers? And this was a common trend back then.
Oh my gosh, that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny to
Just
laugh at,
scream.
but it's like
Everybody
ah!
scream.
And it's a bunch of kids too, so it's just kids
geez.
screaming.
It's not supposed to be funny?
No, this is like, you can tell from the context it's supposed to be a tense scene, but it just comes off as funny. And I think that's why people like them, is because these movies are kind of accidentally hilarious.
Yeah. I seem to remember there was a lot of scenes where everyone's screaming in Goonies too.
Yeah, a lot of them.
But that was supposed to be a comedy,
is played a
so-
little more comedic, right? There are some scenes that are supposed to be tense, and you can tell, like the piano scene where they're like getting the chord wrong or whatever. But for the most part, Goonies is a comedic movie.
Yeah.
But it's still just a lot of screaming.
Hey, Rick.
Hey. I don't know why I jumped in. Thought I would.
Oh.
Yeah, what's going on? Whatever happened in movie night? We didn't watch.
I
Goonies
don't
on
know. I think I didn't feel like doing it one night.
Yeah, that's what
Just
happens. We just get out of the habit.
Yeah. Although there might be, on a slightly different note, there might be somebody contacting Metal about coming on to promote his book.
That's perfectly fine, as long as they get a hold of me.
Yeah, I gave him your Twitter. The people that are doing Cyclopean.
Not familiar with it.
Oh yeah.
It's over on Twitter. I mean Kickstarter.
That's the Rick did a whatever you call it, a time lapse video of him doing Cyclopean.
Oh, okay. Well, don't worry. If I do talk with somebody about their book, I will become familiar with it before then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna be having them on my show the 22nd of June. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Do a talk with. I haven't done one in a while, so.
Well, I might as well announce that I'm going to be playing Skyward Sword next week when it comes out. Skyward Sword HD. I'm even taking.
What's that?
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, it's on the Switch.
Okay.
Coming out on the Switch. I'm even taking 2 days off work so I can stream it.
Paid time off.
I had PTO time that actually expires at the end of June, so I was like, oh, I better take it. So, yeah.
I mean, you don't want to
Why
waste
not?
that stuff, you know. Especially it doesn't roll over.
Exactly.
It's like, gotta use it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't roll over because I'm currently a contractor, and my contract is up at the end of June, so
Yeah.
whatever I haven't used at that point, it's gone.
Do you know what? Well, I guess they're going to be renewing your contract.
I'll be hired full time at the company I'm working at. It was a contract to hire deal.
Cool.
But yeah, currently I'm technically employed by a recruiting firm. But anyway, nobody cares about that. Did you want to talk about this awesome looking Netflix Resident Evil TV series?
Oh my god, no. Why?
One picture looks amazing.
All of those women better be
Me
like
too.
actual characters from the game. I didn't look too much into it, but half of them better not
Not
just
a
be made
white-
up characters.
Are any not? I don't think there's a single white person in it. Is that woman in the middle? She looks
I don't know.
ethnic.
Let me look at the whole picture.
Short.
I have to bring
No
that
whites
back up.
allowed.
You know,
And
I
only
actually have
one
a new
man.
name for it. Right? It's anytime that you take white people, like characters that are supposed to be white, and you replace them with a black actor, I'm now calling it cultural blackface.
There you go.
We should
Sounds
just,
good to me.
you know. And there are certain characters that I really just don't care when they change. I really don't, right? Unless
Mhm.
the way they look is something intrinsic to the character itself. And Wesker has a lot of reasons why he looks the way he does, especially because he is a clone.
Mhm.
But you have to get pretty deep into the Resident Evil lore to know that.
Who was a clone of whom?
The original
Of
guy
the original
who built
Wesker?
but the original guy who started the Umbrella. He was very sickly. He was trying to basically find a way to get rid of his illness, or basically a way for eternal life. And he had many clones. Wesker was the only one to survive. And then, in his wheelchair of a dying man, he goes and kills the guy who made him. So that there was only one.
Yeah.
Hence killing himself.
We look like bags of mostly water wrapped in a t-shirt to GMT.
Yeah.
Can't tell. We all look alike. So. Yeah, and what's with those girls on the left? Are they twins? They look like the same person twice.
I don't know, man. Could be.
I'm assuming they're related. Maybe. Maybe not. They have the exact same hair and very similar face. So I just
They could be playing
thought
twins.
they were related.
I'm assuming that none
Yeah.
of those are the good guys. Like, this preview is just showing everybody who's playing the villains of the series. That will make me feel a little bit better, but still, why is Wesker black?
Yeah. Maybe all the good guys will be white.
Yes, identical twins are nature's clones.
Identical. Yes. But they didn't.
They haven't named
They don't have a twin for Lance Reddick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have a list, oh my god, of all the movies, or all the video game franchises that are going to be adapted for television. Most of these on Netflix. We were going to talk about this a little bit too, because it's a similar topic. Do you want to hear the full list of every video game that is going to be adapted for TV? I guess Netflix isn't really TV, but it's the same thing. Within the next few years?
Yeah.
The first one that was on the list was Castlevania back in 2017, but that's continuing to get more stuff, especially I'm a fucking prophet saying that they should make a Richter and Maria show, and then today we get information that they're going to make a Richter and Maria show.
Yeah, that was
They're
amazing.
listening to you, Metal. They're
Yeah,
listening.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
they had
sure
to
they
have
just
already
came up with the idea yesterday.
They had to have already been working on it if they decided to do it today. It's like I knew, tapping into the forces of the universe. Resident Evil, as we're seeing right now. Cyberpunk 2077, supposed to get one in 2022. The Last of Us is getting an HBO show.
Will Cyberpunk be all full of bugs? And
Yes, but probably not the kind you're thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah, The Last of Us. Apparently, the Halo live-action show on Paramount Plus is still happening, just, in 2022. It was supposed to be out last year. And it just never happened. There's going to be an animated Diablo show for Netflix. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think the Diablo show is going to be good. Just looking at the people running things these days. Fallout live action on Amazon. That could be good. Because you don't really need to do anything to Fallout to appease the modern crowd. I mean, the game already has everything there in it. So really, they don't have to ruin anything. They can just actually go and make an interesting story. Splinter Cell, which is the one I was talking about earlier. I really like Splinter Cell. That might be
nice.
Yeah, that's going to be animated on Netflix.
Ooh, that should be interesting. Yep. I played, I think, most of the games.
Yeah, I love Splinter Cell. Chaos Theory, the third Splinter Cell, is my favorite in particular. Tomb Raider, animated, which is the way you need to. But I don't have any hope for it because it's probably going to be new Lara. I mean, odds are it's going to be new Lara. It's like, no, please, old Tomb Raider. I'm actually a big fan of Lara Croft, not whatever this new thing is. And Twisted Metal, live action. Now that could be a fun series. It's
That's a racing game, right?
Yes, but it's
Or am I
also
thinking-
it's more of a demolition derby. You're in cars, they have
Yeah.
weapons. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're gonna come up with a story around that.
There is a story around Twisted Metal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Especially each character has their own story too, especially like Sweet Tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sweet Tooth is a bat out of hell. Death Race is awesome. Stupid, but awesome. I love, well, specifically the original Death Race franchise, Death Race 2000 and Death Race 2050, which was the sequel that happened years later. I mean, 2050 happened like in 2016 or something. It's not that old of a movie. I don't really care for the Death Race reboot series that takes place in the prison with what's his face? God, I can't remember. He's in Fast and Furious. Jason Statham. That's his name. That one was like, eh. It just doesn't have the charm of Death Race. I like the idea of Death Race was Hunger Games before the Hunger Games was a thing. But instead of people fighting for their death to appease the crowd, Death Race was like, we're going to make you go on this circuit across the country, and just winning doesn't matter because coming to the end of the race is only worth so many points. You also have to rack up points by running over people on the way, and different types of people are worth different points. And double points if you run over a pregnant lady.
So wait, was that the end of your list?
Yeah, Twisted Metal was the last one. The captain...
Because you missed one.
Because the
Might not
Captain
be on the
Laserhawk
list.
is technically not a video game movie.
What about Cuphead?
Oh, are they doing a Cuphead series? That one's not on the list?
They're doing... Yes. There's a Cuphead TV series. Also,
I'm down with that.
League of Legends. You didn't mention League of Legends.
I didn't know they were doing a League of Legends. That wasn't on the list either.
Yeah, there's trailers now for both the Cuphead TV series and the League of Legends.
No, I know
Both on
League of
Netflix.
Legends has been working on a lot of stuff for a long time. That I lose track of everything they're doing, right? Like, they're making an MMO right now. The guy's like, the MMO will not appease everyone. And, I mean, I don't want a game to appease everyone, because if you appease everyone, you're really not appeasing anyone. But it's probably because it's going to be more like a traditional MMO than it is going to be like League of Legends. So they know there's not going to be a total crossover. There's some people that just won't be interested in it. And that's fine. You know, I like a lot of different games. It's not going to bother me. But they're doing so many things over there at Riot. They're even making a... I think they said it was going to be like a Diablo-esque game, but they're doing a Legend of the Rune King, which they finally added the Rune King as a champion in the game like a few patches ago. I hate him so much. Horrible character. You know what this guy does? This dude. This motherfucker. His ultimate or whatever, or his passive, not even ultimate, it's like his passive. When he kills somebody, it leaves behind like a ghoul of them. And then he can jump into like their zombified body and become them for a short period of time. But when he's doing that, he has access to all of your moves and all of your stats that you built up throughout the course of the game. You only get it for a few seconds, but he can wipe your whole team doing this and just jump from body to body. It's stupid.
Oh. This is in League of Legends?
Yes, this is one of the champions you can play in League of Legends. And people were thinking about like what this character would be for ages, because back in like the way old days, like season 2, I think is when this item was first announced. There's this item called the Blade of the Rune King. Might even have been a season 1 item. And we're like, there's a lot of lore that's just intrinsic, like it's just there in the background of League because items have descriptions and names and stuff. They're like, who is this ruined king? And they finally made him. And I'm like, thanks, I hate it.
Yeah.
And they want to do like a whole Diablo-esque Frozen Throne style game because he's basically he's basically the Lich King. That's basically all he is. He's the Lich King. He's got the white hair and everything. He's Elric of Melniboné. He's just the frickin' Lich King.
Well, Wayne Brady's going to be in the Cuphead TV show.
That's cool. I like Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
He's playing King Dice.
Oh, okay. So he's one of the two main antagonists of the game.
Yeah.
Because the two main antagonists are King Dice and the Devil.
Right. I don't know when these are coming out.
I don't either.
I'd have to. Yeah, I don't know.
Wayne Brady from
I don't know if
Stargate?
From Stargate?
Listen, that is not the first thing I think of. That's what Gamatron said. Wayne Brady from Stargate? When I think of Wayne Brady, the first thing that comes to mind is whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
He was also, what's that show he's been hosting for you? Let's Make a Deal.
SGU? Was he in SGU? Or which one was he in?
I'm trying to remember where he was in, because Stargate is so fucking long. And honestly,
yeah,
everything
a lot of
after SG1 was kind of just sad. Yeah, it's still good though.
Well, SGU was a sad. Yes. Atlantis at least lasted 5 years. The other one only lasted 2.
Yeah.
There was a minor web series which was pretty good.
I guess there's a Resident Evil trailer.
He was in one episode of SG1 called "It's Good to Be King." And it's he played one of the gods, one of the possessed people or whatever.
Yeah.
Was there an American Whose Line? Yes, there was an American Whose Line. It went on for years. It even came back shortly. It wasn't as good without. Without what's his name? Drew Carey.
Yeah, that's right. It was originally a British show, right?
Yeah.
And then
we picked it up.
When they brought it to. Yeah. Yeah, it was hosted by Drew Carey, initially at least. Did someone else host it after that for a while?
Yeah. What's her face?
I don't think I ever saw it without Drew Carey.
God, I'm trying to remember her name. She actually hosted the Ubisoft event for the E3 for like 3 years in a row. She plays Lana in Archer. I can't remember this lady's name. Let me find it.
Aisha Tyler?
Yes, Aisha Tyler. She hosted Whose Line.
Oh, Jesus. Well,
yeah.
That sounds terrible. I only ever saw the.
It only came back for like a season or
Carey.
2, and then it was canceled again.
Yeah. No doubt.
Did either of you guys see the trailer for the Masters of the Universe Revelation?
Yes, we talked about it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Which is what got us onto the subject of Castlevania, and when I said, you know what they should really make? They should make a Richter Belmont and Maria Renard show. Which, I mean, obviously it's
What
because
do
they're
you
trying
know?
to lead into Symphony of the Night, but I like that Rondo of Blood storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to try and go back and watch yesterday's stream.
They can really
that
just make it
part.
one story, though. It's not hard to make that one story.
So wait, is this Resident Evil? Is it animated? Is it anime?
No. The
Or is that
Resident
something
Evil, from
different?
what I looked, is supposed to be... Well, it says type various on here. They might be doing a live-action and an animated show.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. It says coming to Netflix July 8th, but it's very clearly like CGI anime.
Yeah, it even says right here, the first Resident Evil game, blah, blah, blah. They're doing this, and in July, there will also be an original animated series. They're calling it an anime, which they really shouldn't, because anime just means animation in Japanese, so why are you throwing in a random Japanese word into your English sentence? It's just an animated series. But they understand how popular anime
To try and
is, so
get
that's
more
why
people to watch it.
yeah, that's the thing. They're trying to capitalize on anime's popularity. It's like, if it's made over
Yeah.
here, it's just an anime.
Well, they're calling it CGI in anime style.
Ah, yes. So that means they're going to probably make it in CGI and then compress it to make it look flat like Voltron.
No, I'm looking at the trailer right now.
Oh, is it full
and
CG?
it's all
Okay.
yeah.
That's fine then. Because I don't
I
like
think
the
it's just-
halfway. Things like Voltron, the animation's very uncanny to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this looks pretty decent, and there are white people in it.
Yeah. I might watch that.
And
The Resident Evil animation stuff has been pretty solid over the years. There's some good animated features. Especially that one about Leon.
yeah, but I guess it just means like men with more feminine features and sort of, I don't know what anime style means.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
No
I mean,
idea.
a huge variety of different things. There's different
Yeah, because
styles of anime.
there's some really masculine men in anime. I mean, have you ever watched Fist of the North
Yeah.
Star?
Well, and it showed in the trailer. It showed like one of the creatures, and it was like this big hulking dude.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Resident Evil in the games, until they started going super realistic, were kind of already anime anyway.
Yeah.
Until, Chris started doing steroids. Resident Evil 5. If you ever want to see the changes in character design, go look at the character art for Chris in Resident Evil 1, and then compare it to the character art for Chris in Resident Evil 5, and be like, dude, that guy's been on roids. There is no way he has not been juicing. At one point, the guy starts punching a boulder until he can move it.
Was it Goron? Oh, wow.
They're
It does look
fighting
big.
Wesker in a volcano, and there's a boulder blocking his path. So he's like, he needs to move it, and he's like moving it, and like you're doing a quick time sequence, and he's punching this boulder, and then he's trying to move it again. And after a while, he finally gets the boulder into the lava and goes where he's going.
Wow, and he's really quite skinny looking in Resident Evil 1.
Yeah. He's like your normal
interesting.
lean build cop. And then in
Yeah.
5, he's like freaking a bodybuilder type guy, Mr. Universe.
Yeah. I completely changed him.
The reason, too, is they went from horror to action as a genre by then.
Mhm.
So they tried to make him look like an 80s action star.
Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe the steroids is like marinade to zombies. Maybe, I don't know.
Does it make them want to eat him more?
I don't know.
Make him
Maybe.
tastier?
Well, I know he wants Leon to marry his sister.
Okay.
Like an internet joke.
That's
They'll
it.
draw pictures of like Chris Redfield just chasing after Leon. It's like, it's up to you, Leon.
Mm-hmm.
We must continue the Redfield line. Trying to get him to marry Claire. Claire Redfield. Actually, this is like why you don't need to necessarily change anything about female characters to make them heroic and likable. My favorite Resident Evil character is Claire Redfield. She is the most likable and what's it called? Relatable character in the whole Resident Evil series. She's not a trained like officer of the law or anything like most of the other people. She's not a STARS member. She's a reporter who happens to be related to a police officer and gets wrapped up in all of this stuff. She's just trying to find her brother. Normal person. And yeah, she's great. I love Claire. And she just evolves the whole time, starts becoming a badass person that's like struggling to improve. Everybody likes Claire.
Yeah. What about Alice? Does everyone like Alice?
Only the people who watch the movies.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Alice. Though at the same time, despite her going through a struggle, she's kind of like the least interesting character in the movies compared to like all of her friends that you meet. And it's striking that all the interesting characters happen to be the ones from the actual fucking games.
Mm-hmm.
Who played Claire? Claire was played by Ali Larder, who was also in Heroes.
That's right.
Cool. Which
A bunch of
character
different
was
things.
she in Heroes, or?
I think she was the one who had the muscle memory power where all she had to do was see something and then she could do it.
No.
I think no, she wasn't. That was
She was the one.
She was the one with
She was the one with the alter ego.
the
in
alter
the mirror
ego. That's right. Yeah.
That was
It's been a while
super
since I've watched
strong.
Heroes.
Yeah, the muscle
the
memory
cheerleader
girl
was
was
the one
like
with the
a little.
you couldn't die, right?
Yeah, she had the healing powers. No, you're thinking of the little black girl.
Yeah.
But,
I remembered it after I said it too. It's like, no, wait, that's the black chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was basically Taskmaster.
Ali Larder's character was the one where she had a. She had like an alter ego.
Yeah.
The one with the muscle memory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's kind of like Taskmaster. Now I remember Larder's character now, yeah. She was also in the first Final Destination. And technically the second one, because she played the same character. She locked herself in a, like, insane asylum to keep herself from dying in a padded room.
Yeah.
She's a good actress. I was really surprised when they cast her for Claire. But I didn't dislike it either.
Yeah.
That movie is the series is a trip and a half too. Especially like when you assume somebody's dead, but then it turns out they're not. Like Jill shows back up in like the 6th movie out of nowhere. Where's the 5th movie? One of the movies.
Are you talking about Final Destination?
No, Resident Evil. The Resident Evil series.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you assume that Jill's dead because of the ending of 2, but then she shows back up in like the 5th movie out of nowhere.
Yeah. I can't even keep them all straight because they didn't have numbers. They all had different names, so I'm like, I don't know what the order is anymore.
I start to remember, because 4 is basically Resident Evil 5. And that's kind of like the point where like I found a milestone to map everything else onto. It's like it's one less. And then it's like it actually starts trying to follow the games for the most part after that.
Oh, really? Kind of surprised that it actually tried to follow the games at all.
Yeah, they were running out of original content.
Hmm.
They even had the Executioner from 5 in Resident Evil 4. The movie 4. I think it was called Apocalypse. You know, the one when they're in the prison and the Executioner, they fight them in that tiny little shower room. It was her and
Yes,
Claire.
I remember that.
And she had the shotgun with the quarters loaded into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I watched them all a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago.
I just remember when he shows up and he just like chops that guy right in half.
Yeah.
But I've never played the video game. Well, actually, I played one of them once for a few minutes. Never completed any of them.
Yeah, I never played it.
Claire's brother just happens to be in the basement of the prison.
Yeah.
Chris!
Something that you guys might like. I know you're not much into Rooster Teeth. Death Battle. They're having Link versus Cloud.
Yep, they're doing a rematch with it, and once again, it's probably going to be very, very wrong, because anybody who knows enough about either of those characters knows that they are orders of magnitude apart. They teased it at the end of Steven Universe versus Star Butterfly.
Yeah. I did not watch that episode.
I watched it because I know a lot about one of those characters, but yeah. I actually like Star versus the Force of Evil. It's a fun show. It's very it is kind of like that LOL so random stuff, but it does it in a kind of okay way, like Dave the Barbarian and Invader Zim did.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like Link, at his best, if you wank Link, you could say that between the fact that he has a piece of the Triforce and he's got a legendary sword, Link could possibly be a planet buster, but that's not really the case, because the reason Link scales up to the things he's fighting is because of his magical equipment, right? The strongest that we've ever seen Link be is somebody who can lift like 2,100 tons of granite, right? That's about the strongest we've seen Link ever do.
With the wrist.
Yeah, with the gauntlets, the gold gauntlets. They're stronger than the power mitt and things like that. That's the most we've ever seen Link do. I mean, he's got feats of killing people like Demise, who Demise himself is definitely a planet buster, but he can only do it because he has the Master Sword. Link would not be able to kill Demise on his own, right? There's a lot of problems with people trying to wank Link. Cloud, on the other hand, is stupidly overpowered if we only go by Final Fantasy VII, right? Advent Children actually kind of nerfs him a little bit, and so do with some of the post FF7 stuff, but that's all Nomura. If we go by the intent of the original team, Cloud is stupidly strong. Not only, I mean, because even Link dodges lasers, but Link also has a level of precognition, so I'm not going to say that Link has faster than light reflexes. He can tell that something's coming, which could help him in a fight against Cloud, having a level of precognition. It's like a Spidey sense.
I'm not so sure Demise is a planet buster. I don't think he is.
Well, if you wank him, he's called a world ender, right? Now, a world ender could mean over the course of a century, I could level the planet, or it could mean I could end this all right now. It's very vague over what that means. I tend to lean more towards the former when it comes to Demise, because they haven't really displayed anything else, but you could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
When you're arguing what a character can do, you kind of have to look at like the low end and the high end and kind of like figure out what's the most consistent part in between. And that would be the highest scale you could bring Link up to, possibly, but that's not, Link can't do that himself. He's only fighting this guy because he's got a magical equipment that lets him do it.
Yeah.
And same with like you can't scale Castlevania characters to Dracula specifically
Yeah,
because
well,
they
that's
have
what I was gonna
holy
get.
armaments that let them fight Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud, on the other hand, is basically an anime character. That's not very different from a Dragon Ball Z character. You can scale him directly to everything he fights. The Final Fantasy treats these games that way. That's how they treat the story. The characters are even emotionally display this throughout the game. At the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, they're scared of these like tank-like things that they have to fight, the mecha things early on. And this is like a boss. Later on, they're like a normal enemy spawn that they don't sweat. And even then later, you have to go and fight like the literal embodiment of Discord or something like that. Or no, it was Kronos. You have to fight Kronos, the literal embodiment of time. And they're just like, no sweat. We'll go and take the thing we need. So they're scared of these machines, and then they're not even afraid of gods. It's because they're actually getting physically stronger throughout the game. And Cloud has stupid feats like surviving attacks that would destroy a solar system. And reacting to things that flew into the planet at like 14,000 times the speed of light. Just physically impossible, but there's magic and gods and stuff like that. So you have to go by the disbelief of the system. But like Cloud is so much of a higher scale than Link that I don't even think that Link would be able to touch him. This would be like Spider-Man versus Thor. Like, Spider-Man's got a Spidey sense. He'd be able to survive for a little bit. But if Thor went all out, eventually Spidey's dead.
Yeah. Maybe Cloud at level 1.
And they had the
Or
gall.
like Spidey versus Superman.
Yeah. They had the gall the first time. I was in the convention panel and they said it too. Somebody asked, what was your most diversive death battle within the team? And this was back when they were still Screw Attack. And they said it was Cloud versus Link because, yeah, divisive. Their most divisive death battle between the team, like what they struggled on. And they said it was Cloud versus Link because of how close it was. And it was like every other day, somebody's like, but I've got a reason why the other guy should win. And it was all coming down to like equipment and abilities. It's like, yeah, they both have a lot of utility, but the utility doesn't matter. They're just like, again, orders of magnitude apart. The amount of energy and force that Cloud can generate with just his fist compared to anything Link has. Like, he could just bare knuckle brawl Link to death and there's nothing Link can do about it. He doesn't need a sword or magic or anything.
Cloud has stupid feats.
I mean, he does too. They're really pointy. Have you seen how pointy his boots are?
So what is this brawl thing? I didn't quite
Death
get
battle.
the beginning of this conversation. What is
Death Battle?
Is that claymation thing?
No, it's not claymation, but Death Battle was a show started by
animation.
Screw Attack way back in the day, back when Screw Attack was still a thing. And it blew up. It was their best show. It was made by, well, their most popular show. I wouldn't say it's their best show. But it's made by Ben Singer and Chad James, who play the Wiz and Boomstick. I've met both of them in like IRL. They're really good people. I hate trash talking the show because I like the guys so much, but I really have to talk about how bad their research is and stuff like that. And sometimes it's not even how bad the research; it's how you can tell they're intentionally picking the wrong result and stuff like that. But way back, it was like a sprite animation show originally, and the show is broken down with the first half of it, or even 2/3 of it, is them talking about the characters. So they'll give a briefing of one character, then a briefing of another character, and then there'll be an animation, and then they'll have the results. And they'll use the animation to show who actually won, even though the animation isn't necessarily indicative of how the fight would go. It's just something entertaining for you to watch. Most of the matchups, they even say it's like they wouldn't even need to do most of what was in this. It would be over before it started. And there's a lot of matchups that are like that. And I don't care when they have stupidly one-sided matchups because the whole thing is themes and like who would win in this fight. And sometimes you just got to be real. Your favorite character wouldn't beat this other guy because of how big the power gap is between them.
Yeah.
So like Link and Cloud.
Yeah, that's the way it should have been. But they treated that one like it was a really close one. Link and Cloud was treated like Goku versus Superman. Which actually is closer than they even treated it.
Time travel.
Link does have time travel.
Link has time travel. It's over before it started.
Yes, but Cloud killed time. And has time magic, so...
That's right.
You just put a little stop materia on there and just stop him before Link gets the chance to time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey there.
Oh, not much. What's going
Hey,
on?
John.
Oh, nothing. Just working on stuff.
Oh, nice.
What are you guys
I
talking
can't wait
about?
all kinds of things. Video game movies and death matches.
Oh, what I meant was, what were you guys talking about when I came in and interrupted?
We were I was explaining the show Death Battle to Marsupial because he apparently had never heard of it.
Oh, Death Battle! Yeah, that's a great show.
A horrible show.
What was that? What was the show? Oh, Celebrity Deathmatch. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what you were thinking of. That's a claymation
Like-
show. That was a good show.
Yeah, that one's great. Yeah.
But that's because that show didn't take itself seriously at all.
GMT
Wait,
says
did Death
John.
Battle take itself seriously?
Death Battle has always taken itself seriously.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
John, you missed the chat about Death Race. You'd be very disappointed.
Oh shit!
Are you
Death Race is
familiar
pretty
with Death Race?
The movie? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good flick. It's like Twisted Metal.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why we got onto the subject because we were talking about the upcoming Twisted Metal show.
What?
Did you know they're making a TV show out of Twisted Metal?
A live action.
I did not know
TV
that.
show.
God damn it!
Yeah.
See what you miss when you're late. Missed all the good stuff.
I'm excited for a Twisted Metal TV show.
This is gonna be great and awful.
Exactly. I wonder what they're gonna do, like, because they're gonna have to animate Sweet Tooth the entire time, like have him on fire and stuff like that.
Mhm. Is he gonna be animated? CGI?
Well, it'll probably be a person where they have to like animate fire around his head. He's a clown.
I don't think that would be too hard, honestly, to just animate some fire around somebody's head.
Yeah,
and
they
I
would
don't
just have
think
to do
that in some of the video games, it's not always on.
That's true.
I mean, they've done Ghost Rider, so.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be great and awful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll have Nicolas Cage as Sweet Tooth.
Oh,
Maybe they'll make Sweet Tooth a big black man.
you know that wouldn't be the worst case of making somebody a big black man, especially if he still had the makeup on in his ice cream truck,
It could
rolling
be.
around.
I don't know.
shooting
I think it's
people.
gonna. Is it? I don't know. I picture it, and it's such a product of its era.
Yeah.
It's does not. it's
What
not
if
gonna
Shaq?
trans- They're gonna have to change a lot.
What if Shaq was Sweet Tooth?
Is Michael Clark Duncan still alive?
No, he died.
Oh, shucks.
He would have been.
Well, that would be the honestly, honestly, that would have been the perfect role for one of these wrestlers because there really is no actual talking and acting when it comes
Yeah.
to Sweet Tooth. It's just his presence, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's get a grody wrestler that is terrible at his job but has the look, you know.
Yeah, because you want somebody who's
What
got
about-
like somewhat of a muscular body, but not super tight, almost like a dad bod.
What about that guy,
I don't know.
Dave
Sir John.
Bautista? How about
No,
Dave
no, no. You don't
Bautista?
want
No,
you don't want
no.
a gut, but no, but not Batista.
He
You
wouldn't
want
be
like
a
that
good sweet tooth.
that lumberjack form, right? Like he got muscles, but he's not like he's super tight.
Yeah, he's gonna need to be like a hacksaw Jim Duggan looking dude.
Yeah, yeah. Riding around in the world's most dangerous ice cream car, like truck. Just, it's got to have the song playing too.
Like there's a wrestler who started getting. There's a wrestler that started getting pretty popular. He's part of a group called the Wyatt Brothers. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to look him up right now. I forget his name. It's something Wyatt, but he would be perfect because he's already all tatted up and muscular and white trash looking and big burly guy, but not muscular, just big and burly.
Yeah, burly is what.
But I think the dude's like 6'8". You know what I mean?
Bray Wyatt?
Might be. Yeah.
Man,
What
he's got a
about
big long
Captain
beard.
Lou Albano?
I
He's
mean,
still alive?
If you want to
I
resurrect
don't
him
know.
from the dead,
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying in this prime, would he have been a good choice for season 2?
I don't think so.
he would have been a good choice for Mario.
I know he's a
Because if
clown.
they bring in, they need to revamp. They really do. This is one show where I would be like, you need to 100% revamp and make modern your characters because I cannot see a traditional like Calypso character coming in here. It's will not work.
That's why they need to.
So there you go.
Yeah.
GMT suggesting bronze.
Braun Strowman would, that would be. He might be too big.
He just got released though, so he's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. No, but a lot of these dudes are way bigger than they look on TV, man.
Yeah.
Like, I went to a couple of wrestling matches, and I don't know if you guys remember, there was a wrestler in the 90s during the Attitude Era and even the Ruthless Aggression Era called Edge.
Mm.
And he was known for being a part of a team, Edge and Christian. He would do a lot of high-flying matches against the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
And he was like considered one of the smaller guys, the big high flyers. I met this dude's like 6'4", massive dude. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the
he's
thing
huge.
is-
He went walking by me one time. I was like, God damn. That's
A
Edge?
lot of them are bigger than they look on TV because they're around other big guys, so that's your point of reference. But they also happen to be smaller often than their actual stats say, because they're trying to make them be even larger than life. But yeah, they're all huge people though.
So even somebody like Edge could probably pull it off because he's just a big
Yeah.
guy. I could put Edge next to actual regular actors. He's massive.
Yeah.
But I'm very interested to see what they do. I hope they don't stay too close to the source material, to be honest. I hope they get
I hope
crazy
they
with
stay
it.
really close and just go completely wacky with it. I just want them to go like 100% wacky with it.
Like, I know somebody on the creative team is going to be like, we're going to have Axel as he was in the original game.
You want them to crash and burn, don't you?
I want them to really be twisted with this, man. The name is Twisted Metal, okay? They need to be all over the place. There needs to be blood everywhere, for sure. Like, I want to see innocent civilians just dying left and right and whatever they're doing. I want to see...
Now GMT has me looking up Concerto.
Yeah. I want to see mounted machine guns. I want to see
Concerto.
rocket launchers.
How do you people know these wrestlers? I don't get wrestling.
Oh, it's great.
Concerto.
It's like watching
there
like
you go.
watching your favorite soap, but except it's awesome.
Yeah,
God,
I used to
smashed
always
the
call
guy's
it like...
head between two.
I would call it
two
redneck
chairs.
soap operas.
Jesus.
Well, wrestling in the 80s and early 90s. I got out of it just before the Attitude Era. I was into it more when it was a superhero, supervillain type thing.
Well, there's a big
What
crossover.
about Tracy Morgan?
The plots between like comic books and even anime. right? It's a lot of hero stuff.
Mhm.
And then you don't know if somebody's going to turn heel or not, you know? I never was super into it, but I kind of get why people like it. I've always liked the personalities. I thought the plots were pretty stupid, but I think
Yeah.
everybody knows that the plots are stupid. It's just whether you like them or not.
Yeah. And the concerto he's talking, it's like Edge and Christian thing they used to do. He's just 2 chairs essentially.
Yeah.
And they called it the
God
concerto.
damn, it looks like he's gonna kill someone with that. Jeez.
Yeah, wrestling is like if monster trucks.
GMT
did
says
balance.
Oh, and he's doing his job well.
That's a
Yeah.
good description, GMT.
That's right. And
But with
wrestled.
that, we are at the end of the show. Thank you, everybody, for
Aw.
showing up. Even our 2 regulars, as we'd call them. One not as regular as the
Mhm.
other. If you guys enjoyed the show, please share it with somebody else you think might enjoy it. And if you really like the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/Vomitorium Live. And we will see you in the next episode.
Have a good weekend.
Later.
Bye.